Yeah, I kind of figured you didn't know about it, but yeah, I thought I'd let you know. You want to see the difference between it? I'll give you a quick glance. You'd be surprised at what they've changed. So, loading times are still a pain in the ass. You know, I don't know if they have that kind of money for making me that ugly, you know? Hey Google, change game room light to 50%. It's a little better. So, yeah, Riker definitely, I'm sure, is covering a good chunk of it. The nice thing is if you want to play old school, you can do it at the press of a button. You can go full old school and play it just how it used to look. Or you can roll into the new. I think that was a really good touch, especially the fact that you can just toggle it on and off at will. That's probably something I haven't seen in any other revamp of a game. I've played a lot of HD remakes. That's definitely a first. They also made it so that you can easily compare things, so on and so forth. I do love the fact that there's no longer a crap ton of lag when you're actually using, like, summons. Not enough mana. I'm curious to see how it'll play out when Necromancer comes out. Yeah. Well, like, okay, so I've got 5 wolves, 1 raven, 1 spirit, and a vine right now, right? Not too bad when you're in town. It's not really a big deal. Never really was before. But as soon as you go out into the wild, that shit was fucking hell. Because the moment you start having to deal with friggin' enemies on your screen, oh, the lag was horrible back then. The wolves look so much nicer now. They did a real good touch-up on the little details. I mean, you can always roll back old school and play that pixelated shit. Nothing wrong with that. Fucking Druid is so broken early on. You don't even have to fight, just let your summons do it. Yeah, I definitely like the re-rendering. Come back here, you little imp asshole. One of the nicest features, hands down, that they did was, see the gold? I don't actually have to click on it to pick it up. You just walk over it now, which is something they had, if I recall correctly, in Diablo 1. I don't know why they got rid of it in Diablo 2. So now all those times that you're doing like Talrasha's Tomb runs where there's a shit ton of gold just all over the place. You'll literally just be able to walk over it now and pick it up. Kind of like the pickup radius in Diablo 3. Although I haven't noticed if it's expandable or not. I think the biggest thing I missed from Diablo 2 personally was the auto map. Having that always there. I know a lot of people hated it because it was always in your visual path, but it's like, it makes it so much easier to navigate. I can't tell you how annoying it is, in my opinion, to play Diablo 3, and there's no auto map. I have to constantly look up into my mini-map. No, it doesn't. And that's the shit that pisses me off to no end on that. It's like, it was such a minor thing to add in that they could have added and didn't. I do wish they'd add a few more quality of life things. It'd be nice if they had a quicker way to put potions into your belt. That would be lovely. Because that's still based off the old system. Yeah. This is so much easier to handle. Oops, I should probably summon more wolves. I honestly think that would have been fine, refillable potions. Like, even if you had to earn them or craft them, that would have been a great addition to this game. Imagine adding that as a factor into this game, a craftable potion. That way you get the abilities that you want. Picking them up is still a little bit of a pain in the butt too, so... That bitch just teleported. Fucking asshole. I'm also not entirely sure why they haven't released Necromancer and Assassin. You're also limited to the first 2 acts in this early access open beta, which also seems a little strange to me since the game's already been out before. You could disable the cinematics if that's something that they wanted to keep hidden until the release. Because they do look amazing. The new cinematics look really good. But... I think this is the one that's got a waypoint, so I'm going to spend a little time looking for that. It would have been nice if they would have allowed us to complete our gameplay as we were leveling and not limit us to 1 and 2, because then we could have played around in the cow levels and shit. Ooh, wow, the spiders look really good. Wow. No, Druid and Assassin were the two classes they introduced in Lord of Destruction. Necro was one of the original classes. That's the part that I find weird. Necro was an add-on in D3 later on. But it was part of the original team in D2. Alrighty, there's that. Yeah, I thought the same thing initially too when I got into the pre-release beta, but no. I remember these things looking like this, and wow, the re-render of the spiders looks like fucking amazing. They almost look slimy though. Alrighty, where's the waypoint? Look at all them spadas. See? You couldn't even see the ones that were just slightly out of your view before. Definitely some good quality of life things right there. That waypoint must be all the way over here. I kind of like it, but I get what you mean. It does look a little bit kind of pixely. I don't know. Fucking wolf, get out of my way. I'm a little torn on that one because the text is kind of iconic. I lost signal. My internet might be acting up. Or are you talking about my my little guy? Yeah, if you're watching off Facebook, that might be why. Twitch, I think, is a little bit more stable. I'm multi-streaming, so I'm streaming to everything at the same time, which really isn't a problem for my computer or my internet, but I don't know how the software actually handles that. Yeah, I'd say just switch to the Twitch. It's the same username, DarkDragon1142. But they made me pick a primary stream service, so I picked Facebook since it's one of the newer ones, so. Woo, boy. Nope. That's a whole lot of nope in there. I'm gonna let my wolves take care of that. Good wolves. I do like that, you know, they kept a lot of the things the same, so you still have everything laid out similarly. Oh, that's right, I forgot I have that. I can't get any more wolves, so we're going to wait on that and wait for dire wolves, although they can upgrade. I'll respec out my druid once I've got him leveled, but he's definitely easier to level with summons. Heals plus 5%, plus 35%. Yeah, those only last for so long, so I'd rather not something that's not going to be permanent. I'll get Maul, why not? I don't remember shit for stats. That was definitely the one thing I did never really get into very well, was stats. It would have been nice if they would have upgraded our inventory size, but meh. I get why they didn't. They want to kind of keep it the same feel. But they did upgrade our stash size, which makes a huge difference. And gave us a shared stash. So 3 of your 4 tabs that are in your stash now, which your stash is huge, are shared. Oh no. No, sir. Stash was always a small issue. The difference is everyone muled. And when you mule, it's not really that big of a deal. But now they've made muling even easier because you have shared stashes. So if you wanted to make a mule character, he'll only have 1 private stash, but you'll have 3 tabs that you can use to share, making it a lot easier to just make a bunch of mule characters, then load the shared stash tabs up, and then swap to your mule characters, and then just evenly distribute them. That is true. That is true. Fuck off, you little assholes. I think the increase in stash size was definitely a necessary evil. There we go. Jesus H. Christ. Literally all the way across the map. This random map engine generator fucking said, fuck me. I can't even fit them both on the same screen. That's how bad that is. Talk about a fucking shit deal there. Gonna need that. I'd be curious to know how many people end up going back to, like, PvP in this game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. The inventory would have been nice just for looting purposes, but could you imagine if you had a bigger stash, the amount of new builds that would come out with, just for the fact that you could hold more grand charms and shit? Yeah, that was the one thing that D3 really took away, is that loot decisions don't really matter. You're more or less just plowing through everyone and farming, which, don't get me wrong, that's fun. It's definitely an enjoyable aspect of that game, but it's a different aspect, because it's a different game. Oh man, I hated waypoint killing. That shit used to piss me off. I'd get to the right place and then fucking pop it over and he'd fucking whoop my ass. I kinda almost think that would be nice if you could disable PvP in certain games, so like make it not available, just for the people that don't want a PvP. Because that was more of the old school toxic MMO behavior, where it was basically just making trains to kill small low levels and shit like that. Every time I hear the wolves cry out, I instantly think of Insane in the Membrane. Because they'll cry out and I'll just be like, insane in the brain! It's that same sort of screeching noise. Do you think that they should have made gems stack? Yeah. That might come in handy against Zendaro because of the poison length reduction. Fast attack speed, very fast. Attack rating, knockback. Knockback's kinda nice, depending. Definitely not using that. I really do think that gems should stack because they do make a very important factor of the game. I also think that runes should stack if they're the same rune, you know? So you can have, you know, a stack of 10 of fucking tall runes or whatever. And it wouldn't be game-breaking to do that change, in my opinion. Making charm stack, that would be a horrible idea. I almost wish they would let potions stack in your belt. That way, you don't have to worry about having them in your inventory, even if they don't go to refillable potions. Because then you could quite literally have one area for antidote, one area for stamina, one area for health, and one area for mana potions, and then they would all be in your 4 areas on your belt. And if you decide to go assassin, you could use the things like the fulminating potions and the strangling gas potions instead. Since assassins are the only ones I know of that actually use that shit. They should really buff those to make them more usable. Could definitely create some interesting builds out of that. But assassins are the only ones that might use them. That and low levels. Really? Breastplate? Wow. I'm just curious about it. Just a socket. Nothing else. Well, yes and no. I think gems are a small part. I also think they're a little bit of a bigger part when it comes to endgame. Because you'll find that you're using gems for, you know, your specific rune words and recipes and shit like that. But that should not be your inhibitor. Your inventory size should not be an influencer when it comes to things like gems. They have definitely come up with some very interesting builds over the past decade, at least, for Diablo II. Some of the hardcore players that still play this game. It's actually only recently that some of the people have accomplished some really long-term goals, such as finding all of the rare items in the game. I guess it was a challenge that a lot of the high-level players made for themselves called the Holy Grail. I mean, it breaks down to the same thing everything else in Diablo breaks down into, which is stats, so. You can get an item that's really rare and really good, but if it doesn't have the stats that you want, then why does it matter? Alrighty, let's make a TP. I'm gonna go drop this shit off in my stash before I kill Endariel. God, it's been a long time since I've killed Andariel. Like, this is ridiculous. I should not be having to do this shit. Jewels, I don't think they should stack since they have individual representations, so, because of their stats. So that makes sense, but other things, no. They should definitely stack. I don't know if I'll ever use that ring, but we'll hold on to it for the time being. Oh, dude, runes are such a thing. It's one of those things where it's like, it literally makes or breaks your choice on an item, because if it doesn't have the right number of sockets on it, you can't do the rune word in it. So it's one of those times where it's like, do I need a 2-socket item, or do I need a 3-socket or a 6-socket? Whatever the case may be. That shit was a make or break for that shit. What's funny to me, right, is if I recall correctly, charms weren't a thing until Lords of Destruction. So they weren't in Diablo II, the original release. But they are in the initial release of this. They've just kind of got things a little ass backwards in this, because, okay, so you can't play Assassin or Necros, but you can get items for them in the early access right now. I'm trying to attract all of the enemies into the other room before I take on Andariel, so I have less cannon fodder to have to fight. I do need to rework my key binding system. F keys are nice and all, but man, it's a little bit of a stretch on my big-ass keyboard. I could reprogram my gamepad for it, but I think it's a little bit complicated. Hi, Andariel. I've missed you. Not really. Wow, she whooped my wolf's ass. Aw, my mercenary's dead. Suck it, bitch. The fire effect looks amazing on this compared to what it used to look like. Oh man, that is some bomb-ass fire, I'm not gonna lie. I might be able to fit that cestus in here. Pop that. Put you up here. Grab that. Yeah. Yeah, some of the shit they did, hands down, was very well thought out. I mean, for a re-release of a game from the 1998, I think this came out. Oh no, it was 96 December 31st. I actually looked this up not that long ago. Yeah, I resurrected them mercenary that fucking couldn't stay alive. It's okay, John. You remember Magic Find? Because that's definitely not a thing in fucking D3. Look at that, 6% Magic Find. Remember all the crazy Magic Find builds people would come up with? God. Alright, let's see what I got here. Bloody Razor. Not a bad low-level Cestus. Might be useful for my assassin when I can play it. It's got some decent damage, but not much else unless you're looking for mana steal. I guess I could do a Necro or a Paladin that might need that. Increased attack speed, maximum damage, attack rating, and mana stolen per hit. I could give that to my chick here, since I haven't given her shit apparently. Oh, that's right, she can't use crossbows. Has to be actual... I don't think anyone plays a crossbow Amazon. I think it was all Javazons. Okay, so that doesn't work. That used to work. I don't know why it doesn't now. You should be able to click on old item and it swap out what you're holding. So that's an annoyance. %10 chance to cast. Not bad for, you know, an early on one. That's gonna drive me nuts. We'll get rid of the bow. Because I don't really need the bow. Let's do a quick repair. Let's go ahead and report that issue. Yeah, we'll go to loot items. Swap. Item in hand with item inventory. While organizing. Stash. Inventory. There we go. Because that was definitely a thing. I very, very vividly remember. Alright, John, you ready for a cinematic? Have you gotten to see the difference between the cinematics yet? They really need to fix these load times. I don't know why it takes so long. There's no good reason for that. Almost looks like Tyrael in the background there.
Traveled east, over the mountains and into the vast deserts of broken lands. As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior.
I feel like they need to smooth that out a little bit. It looks great, but they need to smooth it out more.
Traveled for an eternity across that barren wasteland.
Add a few extra frames here and there.
I couldn't say. And always a dark cloud seemed to follow us just over the horizon. Finally, the journey ended. We climbed the last ridge. There below us lay our destination. The shining jewel, Root Lane.
I do like and appreciate that they kept the original audio and just kind of, you know, HD'd it.
Perhaps it was the warm desert winds or the sound of the ocean, but for the first time in many weeks.
Look at the detail.
However, the dreams returned, but these were clearly not my own. I beheld a vision of a great man, the mage, Talrasha. You were there too, Tyrael. I remember seeing you in my dream. His brethren had cornered a great demon, Baal, Lord of Destruction, who had been sentenced upon the world. And they attempted to imprison the demon within a sacred stone. Yet when their attempts failed, Talrasha selflessly volunteered to contain the demon in himself, completing the prison. He instructed his men.
I do love how it literally looks like the stone is birthing the relic words, the rune words all over it. Like it's carving itself.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. This is my brother. Sleep now. We set out with the dawn. The next morning, we walked over the hill toward Lane. I had no idea then of the horrors that were in store for me there.
Greetings, honored traveler. I am Jaren, Lord of Lane, and I bid you welcome to my fair port city. I'm glad to know that once again, caravans are free to travel through the Western Pass. For some time now, we have been under siege by an evil power that I cannot identify. Strange, it...
What was that button? Yeah, it was F. Okay. I love how the spirit just flies right along my back and makes it look like I'm growing tentacles. It definitely looks so much better close up. Could you imagine if you had to play the game this close? Doesn't it? I love that they actually paid attention to like each individual tile for this re-render. Even some of them have a little bit of extra wear in certain areas. That's big, man. That's a big investment in time.
You look like a sturdy adventurer. You know, I used to be quite the scoundrel in my day. I led the fiercest group of bandits who ever terrorized.
So they did a real big quality of life thing with the gamblers. You can just refresh as much as you want without having to, you know, leave the talk, come back in, leave the talk, back and it was just so annoying back then. That is just fucking awesome. Really takes the annoyance out of gambling in a lot of ways. So let's see, we should have access to the cube since they've unlocked Acts 1 and 2, but I wouldn't have access to the cow level because no one can beat all of the acts, which is a little bit of an annoyance. Oh yeah, make sure you're depositing your money after each run, because Lord knows. That's also something that a lot of gamers nowadays never had to worry about.
I bet you wonder how this town manages to stay safe with all the trouble going on out in the desert. Well, I can tell you that it's got nothing to do with the local...
Oh, that's nice. They put a little scroll bar on there.
For some reason. Jaren hired me and my mercenaries to...
That's kind of cool.
...around here. We're not cheap, but we're the best this wasteland has to offer.
It's kind of nifty. Ooh, where's the bar? I remember the bar.
Hello.
Atma. Yeah, I know. That's our first quest. Oh, wow. Kind of makes me want to play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. I always liked how Act 2's town looked and how it was organized for the most part. I think they did a fairly solid job laying it out. It might be a little bit big for some parts and empty, but it's still pretty cool.
Oh, you may not pass.
Really? But you'll let my wolves in, apparently. I know, right? Like, I definitely don't remember it being this big. I think it just feels this big because you have to, you know, move so far, but... Wow. That's crazy. The fucking worm that just sits there and spins in the dirt. Actually, we'll do little random movements and shit now. Wow. So much nostalgia in this game, man. So much nostalgia. And I love that you can go to nostalgia mode whenever the fuck you please. Alrighty, let's go into the sewers, shall we? Let's take a look at how those look. They definitely look good. I like it. I really do. That's a hunter's bow. I could use that for her. F7. It's funny that we used to think that this was high def. Oh wow, I forgot about the help screen. Yeah. You remember Gauntlet? Gauntlet Dark Legacy? Every time I play this game, that's one of the games that always kind of pops into my head intermittently is Gauntlet Dark Legacy for the PS2. I need to go back and play that. I'd love to see them do an HD remake of that. No, no, no. Green Jester. Green Jester. Pull out the Archer's BFG and just nuke everything on the screen. It was interesting to think that that was actually one of the first games where it wasn't just a recolor. When they recolored it, it would sometimes be like a slightly different outfit or a slightly different facial hair or something like that. It wasn't just red, blue, green. You bastard. I love on Pawn Stars when someone will bring in something really nerdy and they'll have no idea what it is, like Pokemon cards or an old school video game still in original casing and everything. It's definitely easier to be the bear in this game because then you don't take very much damage. You can still dish it out and let your pets do most of the damage work. It's funny because I was watching streams while I was at work this week of streamers playing this game for the first time. And it was just mind-blowing to see how some people just don't function in these older games. Like, they can't comprehend having to organize your inventory, having to pick up individual items, having to manage any of that kind of shit. Which just goes to show you how easy we've made video games nowadays. There's nothing wrong with that. People have less time nowadays, I feel like, because they're always on the go or they're always expected to do additional shit, but like, you definitely had more appreciation for the work that you put into an older game. I apparently have the worst random dungeon generator luck here because, man, I am getting fucked left and right by it. Keeps making me have to travel all the way across the goddamn map. Give this to her real quick. You know, I think that wasn't that actually a thing in D2? If you died, you did lose some EXP. I haven't paid that much attention to that one yet because I'm fairly consistent about trying not to die, more or less. But I think you could. I think you could even de-level. I'll have to check that out. But trust me, I feel like a gamer grandpa all the time. Well, I know it's 10% of your durability whenever you die in D3. But was it 10% EXP when you die? I wonder if the help screen will tell us. Nope. Durability, hostile. Okay. Worth a look. Should be a waypoint somewhere in here. Trust me, every time I feel like a gamer grandpa, the first thing that pops into my head is the Oregon Trail. It's like, bitch, you would have never even made it past the Kansas River. You would have died of dysentery. Ooh, a chipped diamond. Oh yeah, that was definitely losing EXP towards the end of your like 100 grind is so much bigger of a deal. The reason why is because no area in the game, in hell or nightmare or anywhere, will give you 100% of your expected EXP gain. So when you actually are killing things, you only get roughly 95% of the expected EXP you should get, making it that much more difficult for you to actually make it to that last 100. It made those last like 3 levels such a grind. I think the only thing I've ever gotten to 100 is a necromancer, and that was such a fucking grind, dude. Oh, that's right, you gotta feed your, oh, she's dead. I do think they need to make escape, make it so that if you're holding an item, it'll drop that item. Here, we'll go resurrect the chick so that way she can get some more EXP. Where is the person that does reses here? Or do I have to go back to Act 1? Jiren, Ghislaine, I think it's Drognan. No, not Drognan.
Need some help?
There she is. You want to talk about, drop because of the higher level monsters. Never did in D2, maybe 90. Yeah, that is true. It was a lot different before Lord of Destruction dropped. One of the interesting things, though, was just the aspect of what carried over from Diablo 1 to Diablo 2. I'd actually be curious to see if they end up doing an HD re-release for Diablo 1 at some point. They've been revamping all their old games, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have any normal helmets, so let's just go buy one. That eats corpses and replenishes life. Yeah, we'll do that. That way I get more passive heals. No shit, actually, that would be legit. And it would be an easy way to have the PvP still be more of a viable thing in that game. I don't think it would be as viable in PC because of how many people would still just try to remake the Boba Fett fucking trainers and shit. Five, 8, 13.
I'll put that to good use.
I sent you a cartoon the other day that I hope you ended up watching or will watch of the Diablo 1, and it was cartoonized, basically just showing you how crazy that game used to be. I always forget where the town portals are on this place. Man, that's a lot of archers. Ooh, a rune. Oh, that's right, my corpse vine will eat corpses and give me health. Okay, there's level 3, but I think level 2 is the one that has the waypoint. Let's double check that though before I spend all day searching for a waypoint. Frankly, I'd take Diablo 1 as a mobile game over Diablo Immortal that they were planning to release. I don't know if they're still planning to release it or not. You ever seen the fastest Diablo 1 speedrun? That shit is fucking mind-blowing. Like, the amount of practice that dude had to do to make that shit happen. He, like, learned the spawn system for items and everything, just to make it so that he knew where items would drop. Oh, I bet you it's... No, it can't be up there. That's not an actual pathway. Oh well, I guess it is an actual pathway, I just have to walk over Kirith. Hey, dried corpses. Yeah, people that do speedruns are a whole different breed of gamer. Diablo 1 was a whole different breed of a game in general because anyone could be anything. Any of the 3 characters can be whatever you wanted. You could be a rogue sorceress. You could be a wizard rogue. You could be whatever you wanted. All you needed was a shit ton of spell tombs. Really? You use max level fireball? Alright. I was more of a chain lightning guy. I used the shit out of that. I just let everyone fucking melt in my presence. Or the random firing static field spell, whatever that one was. Just make it rain lightning everywhere. But at the end, so many things had lightning resistance, it was ridiculous in hell. Ooh, an Ephron. It's a little less common. Could you imagine if they had games that required stamina potions nowadays? The fit children would throw. You mean I can't run forever? No, bitch, you get tired. A lot of mercy. I always remember Act 2 having the single-handedly most amount of poison mobs in the game. Like, everything would poison you. You could step on a bug and it would poison you. I watched this streamer the other day, she was playing this. She was on the Andariel fight and she was freaking out, just screeching like a little child and everything, and it made me laugh. And she just stood there and let Andariel hit her when she was a sorceress, and I'm sitting there like, there's this big old pit in the middle that you can use to run around and keep her off your ass, especially for a cold sorceress. Miss, 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 miss. Ugh, apparently I need more attack rating. Imagine all the lazy necro levelers that are gonna come out as soon as this shit goes live. No, it wasn't. And it's really disappointing. I would have loved to have seen a frozen ore mix in D3. That could have definitely been a very interesting build to see. Here we go. Kill Radamant. I remember this area, having to deal with the special casters and archers. Hey, there's my Herodic squirrel. Hey, Rediment. Get fucked. Can't even touch this. Book of Skill. When people used to duplicate the Book of Skill. Oh wow, look at that. That's gorgeous looking. That was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Very visually appealing. It was a nice touch, the little like central vortex of energy there and everything that it was launching into. Can get rid of that. I'm going to use that. I can sell that. I don't need those. Let's get rid of this shit first. Yeah, we'll upgrade them, since I'm using them so much. Atma. Wasn't that who it was? Yeah. Search the halls of the dead under the dry hills for the cube. Oh god. That was not a fun time. Alrighty, I think we'll take a break, go eat something, come back to this, and continue on to that bullshit. Maybe I'll swap out to a different game, we'll see. It's definitely interesting to see the difference, though. Alright, I'll be back on later.